we've talked about this in the show for a long time that we're going to have a lot. The needs that we had going into this offseason was edge, right tackle, and finding a number 2 receiver, along with, either replacing Matthew's position or re-signing Matthew. But we've been kind of quiet. And the only kind of names, the only time our names have popped up over the last few days, as far as guys we were interested in, was just a receiver position. And so the 3 names were Allen Robinson, who we talked about in the show before, Jarvis Landry, who was newly cut after our show last week, and then Cordarrelle Patterson, which is kind of an interesting one that apparently we are interested in. Those 3 names. Of those 3 guys that we're reportedly linked to, which one of those guys do you think would fit best with what we need at that number 2 position?
Well, I've said this, and I think, to be honest with you, from what I've seen, I think Landry fits best with what we do. And the reason is just because of, like I said before, he's a solid veteran guy. He catches the ball really well, catches with his hands. Yeah, yes, he is. Yes, he is. Last year was his down year and he caught 52 balls and he was hurt. So when you look at what the Chiefs do offensively, I've always said this is kind of like a small man's kind of offense, right? Find the window, find the hole type of offense. And that's one thing he'll be able to do. Now, he doesn't have the speed he used to have, but, the guy can still get open. He's going to be one of those, really creative, wily vets, to be able to, find the hole, push off on guys, and be available for Patrick. And so his skill set, what he brings, not to just to mention his command of like the locker room, his maturity, right? We're talking about his toughness, being on the field, his durability, at least trying to be out there and just playing hard through the pain and all the things he's gone through. So I think a lot of that, man, he's going to be able to come in. If he comes in, if we get him, right, he'll help develop, I think, a young guy that I think the Chiefs might try to get in the draft, at least somebody that for the long haul, right, for the future, he'll be able to come in and be able to help that guy develop. He'll be, another one of those things, could just talk to these guys. But he'll be a great compliment, man, to Hill and Kelsey. I mean, that's the way we're looking at it. And Hardman, too. So if you sitting over looking in the room and you got Hill, you got Hardman, Landry, and then, of course, with Kelsey, what he does, I mean, I think that's pretty much what you need. You need a solid guy. And what we were kind of really, hurting on was that third down. Like a guy that you could trust. And Patrick needs a guy that he can trust. And so when you got a guy out here that can trust, who's going to get open, who's going to find the hole for you, I think that's what your offense needs. Not to mention, like, E said, the gimmicky stuff Landry can do, right? So.
Either one. It doesn't matter which one. But we're not, again, here in the last, I don't know however many years, we haven't made a splash with a big name player. So, we haven't even made I won't say a splash. I think we made one significantly bringing Ingram in, but that was midway through the season. So as far as like in the beginning to have that timing right from the beginning, so when you start now, we don't make those kind of splashes. And I don't see us bringing either one of those guys in. I hope, and heck, I'll take either one of them. They're all playmakers. So, I mean, I don't want to sit there and give a resume over each one of them, but heck, either one of the guys would be good for the offense. You can do any and everything with Cordarrelle Patterson, and the other 2 guys are pretty good players and legit. So I take either one. Will we do it? I doubt it.
Yeah, and look, I even say this though. So like with Patterson, he's a guy, man. I don't. He seemed like he fits a particular style on offense, how they use him. He's not really, I wouldn't say he's great at anything, but he's good at everything, right? So he's not particularly great. He's good at pretty much everything, right? He can run the ball.
He's utility. You can put him at return.
Yes, he is.
You can put him in receiver. You can put him at running back. He can do it all.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, either way, I think if he was with the Chiefs, he'd definitely find a way to fit into the offense. Again, will we make that kind of a move? I doubt it.
Yeah. I just think we need that solid guy, kind of like I said on the offense, man, catching the football. And here's why. I'll give you another reason I say that. Like when we brought Sam. Yeah, no.
We all know we need it, but will we do it?
Right. Well, okay. Well, so what I'm saying, well, you're right. I don't know if we'll do it or not. I'm saying, like, who fits the best in here? And the reason I'm saying Landry, because we thinking about like when we brought like Sammy in, right? Sammy Watkins. You had to think about the guys that wasn't quite developed around him. Now we got Hill, who's your number one, who's going to take the top off the defense. McCole can do the same thing, right? So now what you do, you just need those hands. You need that guy like who's going to get open on third down, who's reliable, that you can trust. You need a guy that you can trust, you know what I'm saying, offensively. And so what teams end up doing last year, you drop 8, right? Shoot, you double Tyreek, double Kelsey. Harmon started to come in toward the end, and everybody else was kind of, didn't really get open for Patrick. And so he was regulated to like trying to throw the ball to 2 guys, right? That's what you did. And so I think Jarvis gives us that. But you're right, man. Are we going to do it? And I think also, too, Landry comes in probably at a good price. That's another thing. It's feasible for us to bring a guy like that in. So I know we're talking about Robinson. Robinson's going to ask for that top money. And I don't know if we need a number.
You could probably get Julio Jones at a cheap rate for what he did last year. He's not going to be worth the money he got last year.
I know it. Yeah.
And he's a reliable receiver. It's just he's older in age. He's more fragile. So, but do you need him every play? No.
Yeah. Mm-mm. Yeah, talking about making splashes. I mean, you kind of mentioned Sammy Watkins. When we got him a few years back, that was like a big offseason splash for us. Yeah, I mean, was he what we thought he was going to be? No, he wasn't. But like that was a big splash.
But Tyreek hadn't broken out then, though. So it's like more so, we thought Sammy was going to be our number one, I think.
Yeah. But the thing that everyone's saying right now is the reason why we haven't seen, or at least today, the receivers, the same guys who came into the day as free agents are still free agents. Everyone's waiting to see what Deshaun Watson does. If he goes to Atlanta, you might see Allen Robinson go to Atlanta, or Jarvis Landry, who's actually visiting with Atlanta right now. So if they do get him, Watson, then we may see some stuff start to go in motion tomorrow. That's what the reports are saying. But as far as Allen Robinson, I don't know. Obviously, we talk about it's a business. Guys want to get paid. Allen Robinson with Jacksonville didn't have a really good quarterback situation. He gets paid, goes to Chicago. He ends up getting Trubisky, and then this past year, a kind of a mix of guys: Foles, Dalton, Justin Fields as a rookie. Could we see? I mean, could we see a 1-year deal where he, takes $4 million? Because we're still, as far as the last I saw, we're still interested in him, and we're obviously. I don't know. Could you see a guy like that coming to Kansas City on a 1-year deal to play with Mahomes?
Man, we sat here last year and made up so many scenarios of which guys could come here just to take a less amount of money just to pursue a Super Bowl because we have the pieces. We were sitting there thinking like, oh, why wouldn't J.J. Watt take less to come here? Why wouldn't Von Miller and this here player and that player? It's within that front office to decide what we can do within our budget. Now, I know I mentioned it on Twitter. Hell, just go over the cap. If you end up winning the Super Bowl, pay the penalty of whatever they're going to charge you. Hell, you got another ring. I don't know if that's the way it works, but you do get penalized, a fine, right? Run over the cap.
Yep.
Yeah.
Fuck it. I mean, if you want to go make a splash, go make the splash. Just go over the budget. Clark can pull that American Express out.
Yeah, if it was, I was going to say if it's personal money, they got plenty of that. But you gotta. But I think if you bring him in for a year, you could definitely do it. I mean, I'd love to have him. I mean, who wouldn't? Who wouldn't love to have that guy? Seriously. I mean, if you get Robinson here, it'd be a great thing. I said, you bring him in, let him cuss out Nagy for, good and proper one good time. It's like, look, you did me like that, then we just put it all down, right? Leave it alone. But, you said this, right? And I don't know, because Deshaun Watson, right? He goes to Atlanta. Is Atlanta a Super Bowl team? No. Like, Landry wants to go win one. I don't think Atlanta is a place that you want to go. I don't care who you get. Unless the guy, I mean, seriously, if you got like a real legitimate chance of making this to the Super Bowl, I wouldn't go. Why would
We
you?
said all this last year, JD. We said all this last year, and who do we get?
I hear you. So are we just tight with the purse strings? Is that what it is? Are we just tight with the purse strings?
So that's what I want to. I want to know that too. Like I want to know what the front office is thinking. Like, you know, why don't we make that splash? Like, why can't we drop that rock in the water and see what comes, or that check in the water and see what ripples we get?
I tell you what, I'm gonna give you a quick story. All right. When I was a free agent one time, okay, and a team offered me something, right? And, you know, the teams, you know, you just had to go with the offer. So their guy sent their offer out. Of course, I'm just like, oh, all right. I said, I tell you what, I told my agent, I said, you take that offer, you ball it up, wipe my tail, and send it back to him. How about that? Okay. Because that's just some BS right there. I said, if we're gonna do that, then you just put an offer out there just so high, right? You gonna lowball me? We just gonna be like, well, JD needs 3 years, 50 million. Well, for blocking? Yeah, sure. Since you try to hit with the low ball, we ain't doing it. We ain't playing this game. Come on now. You know, like, let's be respectful. And so I hope, you know, Beach ain't doing that. You know, and I get everybody's like, oh, Beach this, Beach that. Man, look, Beach is making choices, but you best believe Andy and all these guys are involved with these choices. It ain't just Beach saying, I'm going to pull on this guy. If Andy say, no, it ain't okay, I'm telling you, it's not going to be all right. So he's involved in this process. All of them are. And they like, look, this works or it doesn't work. So,
I mean, we know that, but why? But I'm just saying, we know the front office makes that, you know, those decisions. That little war room has got a whole bunch of names up on that chalkboard.
I know
and
it.
For some reason, I think that chalkboard is still full by the time it's draft time.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you already know. Yeah.
Like, we ain't making no moves from that draft board, and I don't know why. We make moves from the draft board, not the free agency board.
Free agency board, yeah.
And I don't get it. Like, it's hell, even if you do bring a Julio can't be worth half of what he was worth last year. You're double digit in years. Your value should be cut completely in half because your stats are not even half of what you've done. You didn't play a lot of games last year, you know, but you can still make plays. You're still a threat, I think, if you're healthy. If we don't utilize you a lot, you can go out there and make plays.
But what was he known for? What was Julio? What's his calling card? Julio
did it all. You could throw Julio slant, Julio can take that for 80 yards. You can throw it deep, Julio gets it up for two or three plays.
Right. Hey, look, that's a long joker. That joker is long. You know what I'm saying? He get them strides, but now he got them little bitty tiptoes down. He ain't quite got that lift anymore.
That's what I'm saying.
You
don't need him to break those yards. You need a possession guy. Julio's not going to drop a lot of balls.
No. He had great hands, that's for sure. You know, but Julio. So part of it's going to be his ego, right? You think Julio going to come in here for $8 million? Would you give him 8?
To Tennessee for what, 10?
Yeah.
I guarantee he's not worth it. He's not worth 10 right now.
No, definitely not.
well, that's a guy.
Huh?
Well, so that would be a guy who, where at his age, he would want to come play for a ring. You would think.
You went to Tennessee in hopes of, pairing with, I forget the guy who was number 11.
AJ. Yeah, AJ.
Yeah, and Henry, in hopes of, and they started out great. You just had too many injuries because you're up there in age. It happens. So I just think that to become a possession receiver with Kansas City takes a lot of that off of you. You're not the number 2. We go Kelce, Tyreek, or Tyreek, Kelce. So you're going to be a third, maybe a fourth, but you're a reliable third and fourth. You're not an every down third and fourth. We got our number 1 and number 2 receiver. That's Kelce and Tyreek.
Absolutely, 100%.
And so I still think, and for somebody like a Landry or Robinson, they're gonna want the big contract. We're already giving that to Tyreek Hill and Kelce.
Right. But so that's why I said Landry in itself. I think he works better in our offense. Julio, he's that big guy. He could definitely be a possession receiver. I don't know. I think some things we do, man, like Landry be the guy, right?
Oh, I'm not saying Julio's the guy we should go get. I'm just saying I think he fits. He's one that's, I think his value is decreased enough to where he can fit financially and physically, potentially wise, with what we have. But all those other guys fit also.
You like Patterson? Do you like? I don't.
I think we already have Patterson with Hardman. I feel like the way we use Hardman was the way we kind of use Patterson.
Basically,
right?
Yeah. I'm not turning down anything, JD.
I hear you.
If we can bring any and everybody in for a workout to see how you fit, so be it. Bring them all.
Yeah. Shoot, man, I might put my cleats on, come on out there, man, run a couple of routes, then a couple of slants.
You better go sit in that steam room for about a couple of months to get your ass out there.
I will say, JD, I'm kind of curious about your hesitation with Julio. You're such a big Josh Gordon fan with this offense, but yet you're not a Julio fan. I don't really get that.
Josh, he ain't costing us nothing. Josh ain't costing us no money. That's hey, look, man, it's business, right? Julio talking about he knock on the door for 10 million, 8 million. Hey, man, you might have to go.
Money.
No, yeah. Hey, man, you got to go on down the street. You stopped at the wrong facility.
He better hang his cleats up if he's talking about trying to get $10, $11 million again.
Right.
We'll see. And like everyone's saying, once Watson makes his move, we're going to see the wheels turn. A lot of these receivers making their moves tomorrow. So hopefully that does happen. Hopefully we do get one of these guys.